The die is cast and the gladiators are set to go on the political turf in Nigeria. On Mercurial Digital Television, we shall be bringing to you all the incisive interviews.
You know that Nigeria has been an oil-producing country, therefore they should sit and do nothing.
Reviews.
In PDP, but not now.
We must not underestimate, of course, the genuine grievances which movements have against society, against corrupt governance, for instance.
And previews.
You speak the truth, you die. You lie, you die.
Whatever goes wrong, I accept it. Whatever goes right, I tell glory. So I'm not shifting blames.
You don't want to miss. Only on Mercurial today. I am Collins Veshima. Hello everyone, it's another beautiful moment of broadcasting on Mercurial today. My name is Collins Veshima, and on set today we shall be taking a look at some of the big issues trending in the polity. And to do that, we have one of the gladiators on set with me. He's an erudite scholar, a legal luminary, a one-time Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, and a governorship hopeful in the race for the plum seat in Government House, Benue State, come 2019. I am talking about none than Dr. Paul Angya. Sir, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Collins.
Yeah. So let's get to it with you.
Yeah.
Who is Dr. Paul Angya? Just in case my viewers want to know exactly who you are.
You know where I work, Standards Organization of Nigeria. I'm from Benue State of Nigeria. I'm a lawyer by training. I'm a director at the Standards Organization of Nigeria. And I'm contesting for the governorship of Benue State for the year 2019. I'm married with children. My wife is Professor Charity Angya, and I have 5 kids. I guess that's about it.
So, to hit it off quickly, what informed your decision to join the race for the plum seat in Government House, Makudi-Com 2019?
Yeah, what informed my decision is the situation in which Benue State is in now, the situation of the people of Benue State, the current total collapse of governance in Benue State, the collapse of infrastructure, education, economy, just about everything, the insecurity, the failure of the state to protect the people of Benue State, and the shameful situation in which the state is, the abysmal situation, almost like everything, all systems in Benue State appear to have failed, and it is obvious that the government of the day is no longer able to solve our problems, and the people are crestfallen, dejected, people they look humiliated, and I don't know how to put it. People have given up. People have virtually given up on life in Benue State. People are dying. People are starving. Salaries are not being paid for upwards of 2-3 years in case of pensioners. 2 years in the case of local government employees, and sometimes up to 12 months for state employees. And to compound that issue, you have unjustified retrenchments and sacking in governments. The people of Benue have just given up hope about living, and it's a sad story in Benue.
In one of your pieces, a write-up, wailing and weeping and wailing for Benue, a conspiracy of silence, you lamented that you've never experienced the depth of frustration and helplessness, in the continuing programming against the Tiv people. What exactly do you mean by this weighty statement?
Yeah, it's frustrating to find that in this 21st century, a country that is competing for recognition and to be recognized as a civilized and developed state, a country that is competing for foreign investment and to attract attention, global attention, in a country that is looking for recognition and rating that its citizens will be set on by another set of people and will be killed at random, and that the government would look on, I don't want to say helplessly, but that this kind of program, killing, can be ongoing, consistent, on a daily basis, and government will appear not to be interested in doing anything about it. And that we who are from that state, who are educated, who are working in the public sector, who are, so to say, related and connected at this level, would also not appear to be in a position to do anything about it. And when we can sit and watch our relations being slaughtered like chickens on a daily basis, and it's frustrating. You can imagine sitting in your home and some terrorists, some invaders come in, and in your presence tie you up and slaughter your family. There's nothing you can do, and you watch this every day, and the government is not doing anything. And you are not in a position to do anything because you don't carry arms, and even if you do, you can't be a one-man army. So what could be more frustrating than putting yourself in that situation of watching your family and your clan and your tribe being cleansed out methodically in the 21st century, in present-day Nigeria? What could be more frustrating than that? It is depressing, to say the least, and we are depressed. And that is what I meant, and we then call on the international community to please take notice and call the Nigerian government to put a stop to the killings in Benue State. It's been on now consistently for about 6 months. Started in January, it's 5 months, and there's no letting to it. Every day, as we speak, people are being killed, people are being slaughtered in the villages. And by the way, most of the lands, ancestral homes, have been taken over by these invaders. And there is nothing we as citizens of Benue State can do about it. And if the federal government doesn't do anything about it, then that is frustration, because our minds cannot accept that situation. And what you can't accept and you can't change is frustrating.
As a security expert, what would have the government of the day done to nip this silent rising tide, though it's inimical, though, in the bud?
Well, look, in the first place, government has monopoly of all coercive powers of the state and all agencies and institutions that defend and protect the state. In the first place, why would a government that has an immigration and the customs, if you want to put it in Western terms, a border control agency, why would that government permit the infiltration of its territory by thousands of foreign fighters? How did it happen? How did those people get into Nigeria without the border patrols, the immigrations and the customs, and even the police being aware of it or apprehending them? They are able to invade and attack and destroy territories within the hinterlands, the center of Nigeria. How did it happen? The government, even a failed state like Libya, people are not able to infiltrate. We hear stories of Nigerians being arrested and quarantined in Libya. And we can't arrest terrorists who are invading our territories. That's where that's where it starts in the first place. And then secondly, they're able to hit any part of the country or to hit Benue State repeatedly. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. So you know they are coming and they will definitely come and you can't stop them. So what does that tell you? It's either there is some complicity on the part of the government or there is negligence. One of those 2 things. And so the government ought in the first place to be responsible, to be able to patrol its borders, to protect its borders. And then when they go beyond the borders, to protect its people. But right now, as an expert, like you said, I think that what the government should do, these people are ostensibly foreigners. And so it's very easy for them to be identified, and they are invaders and they are occupying territories, and these territories are known. So government needs to show much more seriousness and commitment in stopping the killings and pushing these people out by sending a well-equipped and numbered army into these territories. Or the people who don't speak the local language, government should be able to identify them. So we have something you call cordon and search.
Okay.
Such that the government is able to cordon off a large territory and then move into every community, into every house. And you can't speak the language and you're not local, then you're an invader and you're a killer.
Okay.
And so you get apprehended, and as they search, they cordon and they search and they recover territory, they establish military outposts to prevent these invaders from coming back. And systematically they can cleanse up the territories of the chief people and recover and give us back our land so that our people can go back to farms. This is the farming season and people are in IDP camps.
Okay. Now, you are in the race for the plum seats in Government House in Makudi.
Yes.
So basically, I know that your campaign theme is a new deal.
Yeah.
What is this new deal exactly about for the people of Benue? Let's get to know about your manifestos.
Yes, thank you very much about the question about the new deal. The new deal is not my it's not my original thought. The new deal is the program that was initiated by an American president, Roosevelt, in 1933 in America. After the First World War, America faced the biggest and worst depression ever seen in history of the world. There was a Great Depression in America. All systems collapsed. Infrastructure, public roads, schools, railways, everything had collapsed. America was depressed. The people were depressed. Unemployment was near impossible to understand. And so the country was in a helpless situation, and they needed someone to rescue it, and they needed a program to rescue it. And Roosevelt campaigned and with the idea of the New Deal, of restoring America to its glory. And the New Deal, the idea of the New Deal is to put people to work to restore infrastructure.
Okay.
So he used the New Deal concept to solve the unemployment problem and to rehabilitate and rebuild and construct the infrastructure. The people who were out of work were put to work in building rail lines, building public schools, building roads. Okay. And so they didn't need to borrow to build these things, and they didn't need to go and look for employees or whatever. The people who were unemployed were deployed into the work, and so people became employed and the economy picked up.
Okay.
So we are borrowing that concept to apply it to Benue. Benue is exactly, if not worse off than where America was.
Okay.
We have a total infrastructural collapse in Benue. The economy has collapsed. The local markets, the schools, public schools, hospitals are all collapsed. And we have a large number of strong and able-bodied people who are unemployed.
Okay.
And so what do? We want to put these people to work. And how do you put them to work? You put them to work to rehabilitate the collapsed infrastructure. There are virtually non-existent roads in Benue. And we have millions of young people who are not working. So why don't we deploy them to fix the roads? The farms are unfarmable. There is no farm hands. The agriculture, the only real material thing that we can boast about, the biggest industry in Benue is agriculture. People are not put to work. So we also want to put these young people to work on the farms. Form them into communes to work on community farms, so that we can boost agriculture, rehabilitate public schools and buildings. So you will solve the unemployment problem. And by the way, unemployment is a major source of insecurity outside of the terrorist Fulani invasions. The unemployment in itself is an original source of unemployment, of insecurity. So when you put idle people to work, you take away the source of insecurity, and you will also solve the problem of unemployment. And these people will manually rehabilitate the infrastructure that is collapsed until such a time when we can get back ourselves and get that financial and material position to be able to use sophisticated means to rehabilitate our infrastructure. We put people to work to do it any way we can.
What is your strategy basically to make this work in Benue?
Yes, my strategy basically is, look, if I become the governor of Benue State today, the first thing I do is I'll take an inventory of the unemployed population in Benue State. Basically, I'll invite the Identity Management, National Identity Management Commission to come and enumerate the young people who are unemployed and give them some form, give them national identification. That in itself will give us the number of people who are unemployed, and we'll have their biodata to be able to control in terms of movement and physical control. Then when we do that, we will create an orientation camp into which we will put this large number of people. Probably several camps in different local governments, maybe on a regional basis, where we'll put them and put them through some reorientation. Give them some discipline, some skills acquisition, and some know-how, and then thereafter deploy them to the strategic sectors, to the roads, to the schools, to the farms, and probably to the maybe sanitary inspections and all that. So we will thereby create jobs, and then they will also work on the roads, work on the farms, and will be able to rehabilitate all this and bring Benue State back to some form of dignity where it isn't. And then we'll also be able to generate revenue from these activities to solve some of our economic problems without going cap in hand to the federal government. That's how we want to do it.
Given that Benue indigents are scared stiff today, looking at the security situation where we have the herdsmen coming, attacking every now and again, and investors are scared stiff. And we only had the Catholic mass burial, like that wasn't the first time we had a mass burial.
No, not at all.
So it now appears as though Benue is worse hit by the incessant attacks of some herdsmen, so to speak, or militia. So how would you turn around this narrative and make investors not to really get scared, or make investors want to come to Benue to invest and lift up the economy of Benue?
But in the first place, we started with our level of frustration. Why we are frustrated at the situation in Benue State. And I told you, wholly it is within the ability of the federal government to prevent the continued program in Benue State. And we recommended to the federal government, we've been generous enough to tell the federal government, look, this is how you can do it. This is how you can solve this insecurity problem. It's not rocket science. It's just a matter of commitment of the federal government. But again, I can assure you that we will take steps to get the people mentally and psychologically in a state where they will be able to dictate very early the invasions and be able to take steps to either protect themselves or avoid being killed. Number one. And number two, we are basically an agricultural state. And so we are going to encourage agro-allied industries to rise up. And by the way, the territories where you're going to be expecting industry and external investments are territories within the urban areas. And so I think that they are stable enough to be able to attract foreign investment as long as that source of raw material is assured reasonably cheap and consistent for them. And so what we need to do is to put our people back to work on the farms so that our biggest point, our highest point, which is that agricultural produce, can be readily available to attract that foreign investment to build and run agro-allied, agro-processing industries. That's our major focal point. And of course, when we do resettle our state and when stability is restored to the state, we have a great potential for cultural tourism, which doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. And so we should be able to restore that and attract people to Benue who will come because of our culture and of course the food, the variety of foods that we have. So I think we should be able to do that reasonably well within a short time. Of course, they are hoping that the government will do what is right and take up its responsibility of preventing further invasions and killings.
The program is MERCURIAL today. My name is Collins Veshima. Just in case you are only joining us, don't go away. We will be right back after this break. Welcome back. Like I said earlier, we have a guest on set. Just in case you are only joining us now, he is Dr. Paul Angya, a governorship hopeful for the 2019 race in Benue State. Sir, to put a wrap on this talk, what exactly would you like to be remembered for?
I would like to be remembered as the man who restored dignity to Benue State, to Benue people. I would like to be remembered as the man who came to Benue State and showed that government could work for the people, and that government could be sincere and bring development to the people, and that government is not just meant for the interest of the operators. The government is meant to work and to provide, to protect and to provide for the people, and not the governors. That is what I would like to be remembered for.
You heard it all from the horse's mouth. He is so much about the good of the people, and he wants to bring about a turnaround in the fortunes of the people. And that's the much we can take with him on the show MERCURIAL today. My name is Collins Veshima, and bye for now.